Great to have so many people here this evening. This time it is 7 p.m., Monday, April 20th, 2026. I will call meeting number 5339 of the Dodge City Commission to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Vice Mayor Michael Burns,
Here.
Commissioner Jeff Reinert,
Here.
Commissioner Chuck Taylor,
Here.
Commissioner Rick Sowers,
Here.
and Commissioner and Mayor Daniel Pogue absent.
At this time, we will have an invocation this evening by Father Wesley Shawi of the Cathedral of Our Lady Guadalupe Church.
It's a pleasure to get to pray with you and for you tonight. So this year is the 800th anniversary of the death of St. Francis of Assisi. Here in the United States, we think more in terms of decades than centuries. But perhaps his most famous words were a prayer for peace, which is pretty apropos tonight. So we'll pray that. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Amen.
If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on our agenda this evening is the approval of the agenda. We are going to add one petition and proclamation for the Fair Housing Month. Is there a motion to approve as amended?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the agenda as amended. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on our agenda is a public hearing. This public hearing is in regards to the expansion of the Star Bond Heritage District. And at this time, Nicole, are you going to do that report? Nicole, if you could provide a little context.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. The original Star Bonds that were issued for this area should be paying off here in the in 26 or possibly early 27. So with that, there is still 8 years left on the original Heritage Star Bond area. And you can see on this map, the current existing area is the one that in red that's closest to the bottom of the map. So that's the existing district. And city staff had, with the possibility of the Star Bonds paying off early, knew that there would be funding available to continue the projects that were started in the area and also possibly add a couple of new projects. The new projects would include the Western Kansas Motorsports Museum and the First National Bank building, which was just announced that will be the Marshall Hotel. So, and then we will also continue the streetscape infrastructure work that has been started on First, Second, and Third Avenue. So Colin, if you'll switch the slides, this will show what the new area will be.
We'll work on
We're
that.
working on that. So the expansion of the area will be a block and a half to the north of the existing district, which will include the First National Bank building and the block to the north of there, which includes the Carnegie, the Daily Globe building, the vacant lot where Birds of a Feather was. So that block. And it will also include First and Second Streets to Vine. So that would be the area that we are looking to expand to include in the Heritage District. So, yeah. So the big red box that's kind of in the middle of the screen, and then the yellow area, those would be the two areas that will be included in the expansion. So we have been working through this with the state, with the Department of Commerce to get this additional area approved, and we'll also be approving or bringing to the commission the project plan for this area, so.
Thanks, Nicole. This evening, the City Commission will take action on ordinance number 3842, which establishes the expansion of the Star Bond District. Ahead of that, this is a public hearing and an opportunity for the public to come forward and voice any support, concerns, or thoughts in regards to the proposed Star Bond expansion. Would anybody like to address the commission on the topic? Yeah, go ahead, Alicia. Yeah, go ahead.
So I am pro improvement. I think it's wonderful. I love the expansion of the Marshall Hotel, but I do have some questions because my husband and I do have a business down there in the area that you are wanting to add. And I was reading through your information here, and there were some areas that I felt was not as elaborated on as it probably could be, kind of left very vague and open. So I do have some questions and was wondering if you could help me with that. Though I did hear her say that they were going to send the proposed project, so I don't know if you have that already, but you might not be able to answer my questions. So first of all, I want to say that there are some areas on here where I just have a couple of questions. It says infrastructure and development of hotel facility and related attractions. What exactly are you guys talking about related attractions? Is the proposed expanded boundary and area? Could you elaborate a little bit more on related attractions? What you guys are looking at?
So as part of this area, we're also looking at it's called project mapping. So what that does is,
Projection mapping.
projection mapping, sorry. So the mural that is currently on the side of the First National Bank building, like at dusk and when it's dark out, it animates that mural, could make it seem like it's moving, maybe it's cloudy out, maybe it's sunny out. Also looking at doing that same sort of thing at the Boot Hill Museum. I believe they're looking at the Great Western Hotel for that. So that is another one of the attractions or projects that we're looking at doing possibly with that funding.
They're very short videos.
Yeah.
5 minutes, 6 minutes, a video. It's animation, it's projection on top of things that already exist. There's 3 spots that they're looking at in town right now. The hotel, the mural, one of them. Boot Hill Museum has 2 locations they're looking at doing it. You're seeing it kind of in bigger communities where they're kind of making the buildings come alive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and there'd be a little bit of an audio portion with them, but they haven't really nailed down like what's going to happen there yet. But that's just the goal with the projection mapping as entertainment.
Yeah, no, that
So,
sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have another question for you. Sorry. My next question is, it's on page C1. It says it's under the proposed modification to add the following. It's number 7. It says, "Public improvements throughout the heritage area as expanded for parking, streetscapes, beautification, and other infrastructure improvements." So what exactly are you guys looking at for other infrastructure improvements and beautifications and expanding that?
So that would be continuing what has already been done on Front Street, First and Second Avenue, and Spruce Street. So redoing the streets, the water, sewer, infrastructure, electric, any of the other infrastructure, and kind of carrying the theme and such up through First and Second Street to Vine.
Okay.
So sidewalks, all of
Maybe it's easier. So Starbond projects, the eligible expenses typically are horizontal expenses. So street improvements, road improvements, very few vertical improvements can be made under Starbond. So when they talk about beautification of things, it's generally like curbs, street surfaces, things like that it's hard to get funding for, but Starbond's a perfect vehicle for that.
Okay.
An example of other improvement could be the reinstallation of the medallions through downtown. I believe that was part of the project that had gotten pulled. This funding makes that available to be able to do some other improvements such as that. Other improvements that I believe are planned, and Ray and Tanner may have some insight on this, doing some work to the parking lot on the southwest corner of, would that be Spruce and Third?
yes.
You're gonna see
Lighting.
we're going to see a memorandum of understanding that's going to talk about some parking plans that we have on the other side of the street.
Yeah, that's.
Cleaning up the parking lot in front of Boot Hill, kind of making it all contiguous. So those are the improvements we're looking at.
Yeah, that parking lot there does need a lot of improvement. So that's great. So I do have another question. The former Birds of a Feather lot is now vacant, and I see that grass has been planted there, and that it's going to be under development sometime. What are the plans that you guys have for that?
I don't know.
You don't have none yet?
I would say the intent of this commission and city staff is to put a request out for proposals to develop that lot. It would be much like we did with the First National Bank building. Anybody in the public would have the opportunity to bid on it, talk about what they want to do with it, and we would move towards a development agreement to make that an attraction, a sales tax generator, whatever the case might be. So.
Okay. And this one really isn't a question, it's just a comment that I saw on social media. The top, I don't know the infrastructure of the bank. I love the idea that you guys are doing. And someone had made the comment to put like a restaurant or what have you up top so that we could see out over Dodge City. I don't know if that's possible, but I just thought that was an excellent idea. Anyways.
Thank you.
And so, Alicia, a lot of your questions with the project plan that we will be bringing back for approval, there will be much more detail in there about the projects and such. So at that time, there'll be more.
Thank you. Any other members of the public would like to come forward and share about the Starbond project expansion? Seeing none, at this time, we will close the public hearing and move into the next item on our agenda, which is petitions and proclamations. Our first proclamation this evening is the Arbor Day proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Michael Burns, Vice Mayor of the City of Dodge City, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the City of Dodge City, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. At this time, would anybody like to step forward to address the Arbor Day activities?
Good evening, Mr. Vice Mayor and Commissioners. This year will mark Dodge City's 50th Arbor Day celebration. First off, I'd like to thank and honor the Shade Tree Commission in 1976 who had the foresight to get us signed up. We're one of 4 cities in Kansas and one of 16 cities that have received the award every single year that it has been handed out. All 50 of those years, we're one of only 16 cities, so there's only 16 of these awards that were handed out this year. And so this year we'll be celebrating Arbor Day by doing 3 plantings. The first one will be, we will be helping Arrowhead West facilitate a planting that they do every year when they lose clients. That will be done on April 23rd at 1 o'clock at their San Jose location. Then on actual Arbor Day, the 24th, we will be doing 2 tree plantings. The first one will be at 8 o'clock at Beeson Arboretum. We'll be planting a tree, a baby blue spruce with ambucks. And then we'll follow that at 10 o'clock with a 50-year celebration tree planting at Centennial Park to honor the whole entire community for the 50 years of us participating in Arbor Day. We have a real quick video to share with you guys.
Hi, I'm Dan Lamb, Chief Executive of the Arbor Day Foundation.
Congratulations on earning your 50th Tree City USA recognition. We are honored to celebrate you as one of the original tree cities, growing with us since the very beginning in 1976. This milestone is more than a number. It reflects your leadership, vision, and unwavering commitment to the health and vitality of your community. Your dedication has never been just about trees. It has always been about people, ensuring cleaner air, stronger neighborhoods, and a more resilient future for everyone who calls your city home. Thank you for showing our nation what's possible when leaders invest in their urban forests. Your work has inspired thousands of other communities. Today, more than 3,500 cities nationwide are part of the Tree City USA family. Here's to the next 50 years of growing vibrant, thriving communities together.
So like I said, I just want to personally thank everyone who's came before me and helped us achieve this award, all of the staff that we have currently that continues to help us move forward with receiving this award. We'd like to invite the commissioners and members of the family to all 3 of the tree plantings if they have time, especially the one at Centennial Park at 10 a.m. on the 24th. And thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Chris.
Next item on our agenda this evening is the Fair Housing Month proclamation, celebrating 58 years of fair housing in Dodge City. Whereas the Congress of the United States passed the Civil Rights Act of 1968, of which Title VIII declared that the law of the land would now guarantee the rights of equal housing opportunity. And whereas the city of Dodge City is committed to the mission and the intent of Congress to provide fair and equal housing opportunities for all, and today many realty companies and associations support fair housing laws. And whereas the fair housing groups in the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development have, over the years, received thousands of complaints from alleged illegal housing discrimination and found too many that have proved upon investigation to be violations of the fair housing laws. And whereas equal housing opportunity is a condition of life in our city that can and should be achieved. I, Michael Burns, Vice Mayor of the City of Dodge City, on behalf of its citizens, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Fair Housing Month and express the hope that this year's observance will promote fair housing practices throughout the city. Would anybody like to come forward and discuss the Fair Housing Proclamation? Please.
Good evening. So on behalf of the Community Housing Association of Dodge City, thank you for recognizing April as Fair Housing Month. In honor of Fair Housing Month, we invite the community to join us for an open house on April 30th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be at 1409 East Cedar Avenue. We will showcase a home built in partnership with the Dodge City Community College and share how these efforts are helping expand fair and accessible housing in our community. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no further petitions and proclamations, we will move through our agenda to the visitors section. The visitors section has a limit of 5 minutes per individual and 15 minutes per topic. Final action may be deferred until the next city commission meeting unless an emergency situation does exist. Would anybody like to address the commission at this time? Seeing none, we will close the visitor section. The next item on our agenda is the consent calendar. Do we have a motion to present the consent calendar, or would a commissioner like anything pulled?
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. We approve the consent calendar as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. We'll go to the next item on our agenda under ordinances and resolutions. First item of business under this section is ordinance number 3842, an ordinance amending ordinance number 3684 of the City of Dodge City, Kansas, that established the city's Star Bond Project District in order to include additional property in such district and providing for a substantial change to the district plan associated with such district. This report by Finance Director Nicole May.
Vice Mayor, Commissioners, city staff recommends the adoption of ordinance number 3842, which expands the heritage area of the existing Star Bond Project District by approximately a block and a half, and also 3.5 blocks of city streets. City staff began exploring the possibility of issuing additional Star Bonds to continue the projects started in the Heritage District and also to expand on those projects to include the Motorsports Museum and the First National Bank building. The originally issued Star Bonds are anticipated to pay off in 2027, leaving approximately 8 years remaining on the Star Bond designation in this area. A new Star Bond issue will be necessary to see the projects completed. The expanded area would include the First National Bank building and the Boot Hill Resource Center and the block to the north, including the Dodge City Daily Globe building, the Carnegie Arts Center, and all other buildings on that block. And then also the city streets on First and Second Avenue up to Vine Street. The sales tax generated in the current district and the expanded district would be used to fund the new projects and continue the projects that have already been started. I believe that is all I have, unless there's any questions or comments regarding the expansion of the Star Bond Heritage District.
Questions from the city commission?
You might explain what a Star Bond is in case people don't actually know what it is.
Sure. So, in short, any retailer you visit in town most often, obviously is charging a retail sales tax. In the city of Dodge City, in most of our areas, it is 8.95%. And of that, 6.5% goes to the state of Kansas. Star Bonds will allow us to retain that 6.5% sales tax to service bonds. Those bonds are associated with public improvement projects like we're discussing, or we'll discuss in the project plan, infrastructure improvements, and in this particular district, provided a nice benefit to our destination in downtown Dodge with the expansion of the Boot Hill Museum. So this is a continuation of that, an opportunity to retain the sales tax locally for the benefit of locals, and looking forward to realizing some of the benefits that are going to come with the expansion of this project for another 8 years. I believe currently looking at about $13 to $15 million of improvements we are going to be able to make in downtown Dodge as a result of this.
Correct. And as I said before, we will be bringing a project plan to you for approval, which will lay out the projects and areas that we are looking to spend these funds in.
Any final comments, questions, or do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion, we adopt ordinance number 3842.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We adopt resolution number 3842. Final discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next item on our agenda this evening is ordinance number 3843, an ordinance of the city of Dodge City, Kansas, amending the official zoning map of the city, changing the property located at 3105 East Trail Street from RS Residential Suburban to I-2 Heavy Industrial. This report by Nathan Luttrell, Planning and Zoning Administrator. Nathan?
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight I ask for your consideration of ordinance number 3843. It's an ordinance rezoning the property located at 3105 East Trail Street from residential suburban to I-2 heavy industrial. The applicant wishes to rezone this property to I-2, which would be the appropriate zone for the current use, which is warehousing and distribution. The immediate surrounding property is owned by Cargill and is used for industrial purposes. A portion of this property had previously been annexed, and an additional portion of this property was annexed in 2024. Per city zoning ordinance, the property was annexed as residential suburban by default. The Planning Commission conducted a public hearing on March 10, 2026, and reviewed and voted 7-0 to recommend approval of this zoning amendment. It is also city staff's recommendation to approve this zoning amendment. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Questions from the commission on ordinance number 3843?
Your Honor, I'd move to approve ordinance number 3843.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We adopt ordinance number 3843. Final discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Pose same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Next on our agenda this evening is resolution number 2026-09, a resolution of the City of Dodge City, Kansas, approving the execution and delivery of a New West Hospitality Development Agreement relating to the development of a new hotel in downtown Dodge City, Kansas. This report by City Attorney Paige Gilmore.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. As you know, on April 9th, the City Commission convened in a special session to review the development agreement with New West Hotels LLC regarding the development and construction of a new hotel called The Marshall at the F&B building. After that, during that meeting, the Commission voted 4-0 to approve the development agreement, and the mayor signed the agreement. It's also been signed by New West Hotels LLC. The development agreement does reference the commission indicating its support of the development agreement by a resolution which grants the mayor officially the authority to execute the development agreement. For this reason, Resolution 2026-09 was drafted by our outside counsel, who has also drafted the development agreement, Todd LaSala. The resolution just makes clear the City Commission approves the development agreement. It's been reviewed by the commission and signed by the mayor with authority and comports with the language of the development agreement. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions from the commission on resolution 2026-09?
Your Honor, after reviewing the resolution, I move to approve resolution number 2026-09.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. We approve resolution 2026-09. Final questions or comments from the city commission? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Pose same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Seeing that we have no unfinished business this evening, we will move into new business. First item under new business is the approval of the Boot Hill Museum Memorandum of Understanding. This report by Assistant City Manager Melissa McCoy.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to bring this approval of the Memorandum of Understanding with Boot Hill Museum. The purpose of this memorandum is in exchange for ownership of the Boot Hill Museum Resource Center, which is located at 3rd and Spruce. The city will complete maintenance and capital improvements at Boot Hill Museum Complex. These improvements are subject to an approved architectural plan and cost estimate. The funding is contingent on Star Bonds funds, as well as this later going to the Boot Hill Museum Board of Directors as well for approval. And so just a little bit of background information. With the development of the Marshall Hotel in the First National Bank building, there's a need to increase parking and the supporting infrastructure that goes along with that. And the Resource Center is strategically located adjacent to the First National Bank building, and it presents an opportunity to address these needs. And the property, along with its parking, could be repurposed to support the Marshall Hotel, and develop and improve that additional parking capacity and accessibility for the area. At the same time, Boot Hill Museum is a significant cultural and historical asset for Dodge City, drawing visitors from across the country and contributing to our local economy. And so this proposed MOU would create a partnership opportunity with the city to acquire the Resource Center property while reinvesting in the museum. And there's some financial considerations. So the city would apply the value of the Resource Center towards its required contribution of the Star Bonds program that we discussed earlier. And as the property will be repurposed to support the parking, as we mentioned, in the hotel redevelopment, funding for these improvements will be included as part of the city's part of the Star Bond contribution. And the project plan that you'll be seen in the future to approve includes the funding for the improvements at Boot Hill and is in final development, so you'll be seeing that soon. We anticipate probably early May that we'll be bringing that back. So the proposed improvements to the complex include Front Street parking improvements, which is also lighting, pavement, ADA accessibility, also area for public art, the Great Western Hotel upper story office remodel, Front Street restroom upgrades for ADA accessibility, the basement that is underneath the Front Street buildings to be improved, the Occident photo parlor area, and then water line relocation, as we have a water line in that area currently. The city attorney did prepare and approve the MOU to form, and if the commission so desires to approve this agreement tonight, it'll be presented to the Boot Hill Museum Board of Directors at their meeting this Thursday for their consideration and approval. And as I mentioned before, everything's also contingent on the approval of Star Bonds funding. So I'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
I just have one. Is the 350 for the office admin remodel, is that a hard number? Is that not to exceed, or is that just kind of a ballpark estimate, or?
That is a number that constructions and facilities did establish based on other similar construction costs that we've had recently with buildings. So we anticipate that it'll probably be at that amount, if not perhaps a little bit lower than that. But that is where that number came from.
Additional questions or comments from the commission pertaining to the Boot Hill Museum Memorandum of Understanding? Not, do we have a motion to approve as presented?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the Boot Hill Museum Memorandum of Understanding as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the Boot Hill Museum Memorandum of Understanding as presented. Final questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the purchase of a new truck for the fire department. And this report is by Ryan Reed, Director of Administration.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I am here to request approval for a new pickup truck for the fire department. Specifically, I believe it's for administrative use. This vehicle will be a more fuel-efficient option for the chief. And then the existing truck that the chief's been driving, I guess, will be used for towing equipment, towing the smokehouse, and some other equipment that they have and or that they might get someday. It's heavier duty. This is a budgeted purchase, and we're recommending the low bid from Lewis Chevrolet for $47,936. There was 3 bids, all local, and they're all good bids, but the cheapest one is great for us. So, do you have any questions for me tonight?
Questions for Mr. Reed on the purchase of the pickup truck for the fire department?
No, Your Honor, I'd move to approve the purchase of a pickup truck from Lewis Chevrolet for the amount of $47,936.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the purchase of a pickup truck from Lewis Chevrolet in the amount of $47,936. Final questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next item under new business is the approval of the purchase of a grasshopper mower for the Dodge City Regional Airport. Ryan?
Yes, sir. I'm here to request approval for a new mower for the airport. This mower is going to be used to make sure that they can do efficient grounds maintenance for the airport. This is a budgeted purchase. The purchase would be made through the Gov MVMT contract, which provides savings to the city. The specific vendor that's participating in the program is Morridge Manufacturing from Mound Ridge, Kansas. Staff recommends the Grasshopper Model 940 G3 with a 72-inch cutting deck for $29,643.41. I believe this program, I'm not personally that familiar with it, but I believe we used it before, and it pre-bids the stuff for government contracts to try to make the bidding process faster, and I believe we've bought mowers with it before. Do you have any questions for me tonight?
Just the vendor participates in this, and that's why you have to use them. Nobody local can provide what you're looking for.
What this does is this is a substitute for the bidding process. It's an alternative way to make a purchase. The idea is that for some specialized or heavy equipment, I'm not sure that a mower necessarily qualifies as that, but vendors participate in a pre-bidding state contract type approval program, and so then when cities or libraries or other governmental type units want to bid, it's already been bid, so that you can skip the bidding process because it's already been bid through this purchasing program.
Are we able to service this in-house then, or you got to take it to Mound Ridge to
No, I believe
have
that
maintenance and repairs?
let me ask Daniel, he's here. Can we service Grasshoppers here?
Yes, we can, but then we also use BNS Trailers sales to.
Yeah, that's right.
Pieces, things like that. They're kind of our local vendor.
That's right.
BNS actually gets credit for the sale.
Okay. Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the purchase of a Grasshopper Model 940 G3 mower and equipment from Morridge Manufacturing for a total price of $29,643.41.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. We approve the purchase of a Grasshopper Model 940 G3 mower and equipment from Morridge Manufacturing Incorporated for a price of $29,643.41. Final questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Thanks, Ryan. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the bid for the rattlesnake drainage improvements, and this report is by Tanner Rutschman, city engineer. Tanner?
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight I'm presenting the bid we received for the Rattlesnake Drainage Improvement Project. If you don't know, the Rattlesnake Drainage Way is the drainage that begins up at Comanche Plaza, so Bumgar's Harbor Freight, works its way down 14th, and then eventually to Wyatt Earp and then the river. It's mostly conveyed through open ditches right now, and for the most of the way, we do not have drainage easements for this drainage. At Wyatt Earp, just north of Wyatt Earp, specifically 1510 West Wyatt Earp, we've seen some significant erosion issues occur over the past few years, so much that emergency measures have been taken place to help mitigate some of those erosion issues, but it is not a permanent fix. It is damaging adjacent private property there at 1510 West Wyatt Earp and undermining curb and paving and causing the parking lot to fall into the ditch. So we worked with SMH to design an improvement project there to convert this open ditch section to a storm pipe and underground improvements. And we put that project out to bid. We only received one bid on the project from Building Solutions. The drainage way currently, or was not in an easement, so technically we did not have the right to go in and make improvements, but we have worked with the property owner since the beginning of this project to acquire a drainage easement for this drainage way. The bid from Building Solutions came in over our estimate in the amount of, the bid was for $235,620.50. The engineer's estimate was $201,762.50. We have talked with Building Solutions about ways to reduce that price to get closer to the $200,000 or the engineer's estimate. And we've already identified over $32,000 in savings that can be made on the project by making some modifications. So with that in mind, it would be staff's recommendation to approve the bid from Building Solutions and give staff the ability to work with the contractor to value engineer this price down closer to the estimate. We do see this as an emergency repair type project. So if that wasn't the case, if it wasn't an emergency type repair, then we'd probably go back to the drawing board and rethink this. But that's not the case with this, we don't believe. So we would still recommend moving forward with the project. But I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Tanner pertaining to the drainage project?
If you can't save the money, where's the 34,000 coming from?
We can. We already identified two major reductions that would, and we already got a number from Building Solutions that puts us down right like at 202,000. So we over 32,000 in savings from their number. But it's easier to approve, the bid and then go back and value engineer the price down instead of trying to reduce the bid and bring it to you. We feel like it's simpler to approve the original bid and then work with the contractor to bring the price down. But they have already said that we could save over 32,000 just by making two changes.
Nicole or Tanner, is this drainage fund money or is this a bond? It's budgeted, but capital improvements, where's it coming from? The total amount?
We expected it to come from drainage, but the drainage fund's getting hit.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
No.
Yeah, we'll have to look into the drainage fund. If it's not able to be paid from the drainage fund, we may have to look at the possibility of issuing, including this with our GEO bond projects that we do this year.
Okay.
Or also, looking at the capital improvement fund to see if there's possibility of funds being available there.
Well, the only question I would have, Tanner, so this actually just addresses it from what, Spruce Street to White Earp? Is that what we're looking at?
Correct. Actually, not all the way to Spruce Street. So the first 50 to 70 feet south of Spruce has already been improved with underground pipe. So the stormwater is already underground there. So we just have to go to that point, tie on, and extend south down to White Earp.
So is the pipe large enough to handle the amount of water that
It's dual. There's two pipes. So yeah, the two pipes currently that are installed, they can handle the flow. So we're basically just tying onto those.
So what do we do with it south of the tracks when it gets over there then? I mean,
We
I
haven't
know
gotten
we
there
looked
yet. There's improvements that we want to make south of the tracks too, but this project kind of jumped forward because of the emergency.
Erosion.
Yep. Because, we started looking at this because we were looking at improving south of the tracks because of the 15th Avenue development and rerouting stormwater there and having some sort of detention north of 15th Avenue development. But this emergency issue came up first, so we jumped to that. And then we'll have to make the improvements south of the tracks with the 15th Avenue development.
Well, Your Honor, I would move to approve the bid with Building Solutions for $235,620.50 with hoping that Tanner can work with the contractor to get a $32,000 reduction.
I'll second, but I would like next time to have the information where we're coming from with the funds and how that's going to play out. This seems kind of sloppy, in my opinion. But I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bid from Building Solutions LLC for the Rattlesnake drainage improvements in an amount not to exceed $235,620.50. Additional comments or questions from the commission? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Fifth item on our agenda under new business is the approval of change order number 5 to fill the void and complete additional compaction grouting because of the anaerobic number 4 failure. This report by Ray Slattery, Director of the City Engineering Department. Ray?
Vice Mayor and Commissioners, tonight I'm asking you to approve change order number 5 from GIS. This is a change in the method of installing the drilled curtain walls and additional grout quantity to provide the compaction grouting for the repair of the void and ground improvements in and around anaerobic and aerobic number 4. This change order is a decrease in the amount of $138,441.05. Based on the work completed by GSI to date, GSI had to change the method to install the grout curtains in the aerobic cell. This is because of the makeup of the soil characteristics. The soil clay content was such that the new large 9-inch bit that they purchased to drill in the grout curtain would get plugged with soil. They tried different methods to drill this curtain wall. One is with using air, but they could only achieve a depth of about 5 feet to a point where the air would no longer blow the spoils out of the hole. They also tried using grout. This method did achieve the desired depth. However, the grout needed to complete that was not cost effective. GSI recommended and staff agreed to perform a series of compaction grout lines in place of the grout curtain. This resulted in a reduction of the curtain wall quantity, but an increase in the compaction grout drilled holes and added compaction grout. GSI has completed the filling of the void and soil stabilization at the around anaerobic number 4 and aerobic number 4, and they are in the process of demobilizing their equipment. With that, I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Ray pertaining to the project we have going on, South Wastewater Treatment Plant?
So does this make it done, or are you coming back to see us? As far as repair goes? With that much of the repair, we are done.
With the grouting?
With the grouting, with GSI.
Yeah, make a motion, we accept change order number 5 with a reduction of $138,441.05.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve change order number 5 from GSI with a decrease in the amount of $138,441.05. Final questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Sixth item under new business is the approval of change order number 1 from UCI to provide ground support to GSI for the repair of the existing void and ground improvements in and around anaerobic and aerobic number 4. This report by Ray Slattery, Director of City Engineering.
Vice Mayor and Commissioners, tonight I'm asking you to approve change order number 1 from UCI to provide ground support to GSI in the repairs that you mentioned, in the amount not to exceed $199,545.87. GSI needed ground support to complete the work of filling the voids and performing the necessary ground compaction area improvements in and around the 2 cells. The original proposal from UCI was for 3 months. They were able to get an extra 3 weeks out of that proposal by conserving their resources and providing work on a cost-effective methods to GSI. However, those funds have been exhausted. GSI is finishing up or has finished the project, but UCI still needs to provide cleanup in both of the cells and load out services of GSI's equipment and materials. I do not believe that UCI will utilize the full 3 weeks that is included in this dollar amount to complete the remaining work. So there will be a cost savings there. They've already started those cost savings methods by not working 6 days a week as had been done previously when GSI was on site. So with that, I'd be happy to try to answer any other questions you may have.
Questions for Ray pertaining to the change order?
Ray, how much more work does UCI have out there left? What's the next big milestones?
The next big milestone now is to start repairing the two cells, the anaerobic and aerobic, replacing the concrete that had to be removed to do these curtain walls and the grout curtain or the grout compaction and things like that. And then there will also be replacement of some retaining walls because we had to cut some retaining walls down to get the equipment down into the basins instead of trying to lift them up and over. The other big item will be because of the void that happened in settlement issues that took place after the void was there, some of the slope paving and floor paving of the anaerobic cell will probably need to be removed and replaced to get it closer to grade. And we are working through PEC to determine the extents of that. They've went out and surveyed that to see what the difference is between plan and as conditions of today. And then UCI would be replacing all that material. We will be able to have a price for that. I have budgeted approximately $400,000 for this work in our repair scope, or scope of repairs for this incident. We'll be working with UCI to come up with a price, and then I'll be bringing that back to you for that. And then once the repairs to those two cells are complete, then we can move forward with the actual finishing up of the construction of the expansion project.
Which is liners.
Yes, what's
tarps.
remaining to be left is there's some work that needs to be done to gas handling building number 3. We need to get the flare installed because that's kind of, it was in the area where the void happened. The liner, the floor liner for the anaerobic and aerobic will need to be installed. The cover for the anaerobic would be installed. We have to test both of those cells for to hold water. Then all the aeration equipment and electrical would be done on the aeration basin. We have a bypass pipe that is going to be coming to you so that we can direct water from the anaerobic straight into facultative number 3, so it doesn't have to go through aeration basin number, aeration basin number 4. If there happens to be something down with that facility, those are the big items that are left. And then there's some on-site items. We are also looking at what we can do to value engineer some of that to save some money at this time.
And when does this have to be done by?
I believe it is sometime in 27. It's getting, we were able to confirm that it is not the February of 2027 date. It's moved back later into the year based on when projects have started. So it's into 2027.
I thought it was October of this year.
No, the earliest that we had previously was February of 2027. That date's been moved back. But we can, and the goal is to get anaerobic number 4 up and operational as soon as possible, and then complete the rest of the work. That way, that part of the project's done, and we can take advantage of the IRA reimbursement.
Okay. In my mind, if you could get a not to exceed amount for all of those, and then we could give you just permission. In my mind, I don't need to hear every 2 weeks what things need to be done because we're committed to this project at this point. We don't have any backing out.
Yes.
And so I'd be interested in hearing the dollar amount that needs to be completed to this point, and then think about giving you and the city manager authorization to sign into contracts so we don't have to wait for us to have a scheduled meeting in 2 weeks to do stuff that we're going to do anyway. There's not option B in any of this. It's
No, not
option
at
A,
this point in the-
and we're option A and we're done. So it's just spinning wheels at our side, telling me something technical that I don't understand anyway. And you guys have been doing a great job with keeping the cost down on this repair, and I just need to see a total dollar amount.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents, so.
Additional questions or comments for Ray?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve change order number 1 from UCI to provide ground support to GSI for the repair of the existing void and ground improvement in and around anaerobic and aerobic number 4 in the amount not to exceed $199,554.87.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve change order number 1 from UCI to provide ground support to GSI in an amount not to exceed $199,545.87. Final questions or comments from the commission? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0.
Vice Mayor, if you could let me make a comment on the previous rattlesnake
Yeah.
repair. We did have CIP projects and budgeted and drainage projects budgeted in both the CIP and the stormwater fund. Those can always kind of be shifted, but since this was kind of an emergency where we're starting to erode away from private property, so there are funds available. It's just we got to kind of, juggle funds from time to time to make projects work. So there are funds available that can meet that project. It's just that we won't be able to do maybe some of the CIP's work that we had done previously, or planned to do, so.
Don't
anyway.
take it out of my street sales tax, though.
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7 under new business is a report regarding the status of a 6-month review on the permitted Dodge City common consumption area. This report by City Attorney Paige Gilmore. Paige?
Thank you, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. No action is required by the commission on this item. After giving the report, if you want to give me some general direction for any action you might want to take in the future, that would be appreciated. But other than that, this is just a report. 6 months ago, the commission approved resolution number 2025-30, which authorized the establishment of the downtown Dodge City common consumption area, and the commission indicated at that time they would like to be included in the mandatory 6-month review to the city manager. So I am bringing this to you tonight. The current downtown Dodge City common consumption area is operational Fridays and Saturdays from noon to midnight. And then during Dodge City days, we will have expanded hours from 5 a.m. to midnight. So, so far, law enforcement has confirmed that there has been no law enforcement issues in the last 6 months regarding usage of the downtown Dodge City common consumption area. No increase in any alcohol-related infractions, including issues with publicly intoxicated individuals, minors in possession, or open carrying of alcoholic beverages has occurred. Usage and economic impact. The city has not collected exact data regarding consumers using this, but I do have information on participants in the permit for you. So as of now, 3 downtown businesses have applied and been approved for participation permits within the downtown Dodge City common consumption area. And I will just say for the public benefit, if you have a business downtown, you do need to go through the application process and be approved to operate lawfully within the common consumption area. But right now we have 3 approved entities: Boot Hill Distillery, Dodge City Brew Pub, and the Doctor's Office. Also, Hugo Hernandez, the director of Main Street Dodge City, has indicated there are other businesses interested in applying for a participation permit, and we expect that participation to increase as we come into the summer months and get closer to Dodge City days. And Main Street Dodge City is going to coordinate efforts to help businesses navigate the application process. As far as community feedback, thus far, the community appears supportive of the downtown Dodge City common consumption area. A participating business has suggested expansion of the hours of operation to operate daily rather than just Fridays and Saturdays, and expanded hours from 8 a.m. to midnight to help facilitate more usage of the area and to incorporate more special events that happen on days other than Fridays and Saturdays or earlier in the day. Also, one issue has arisen in Planning Main Street. It's not really an issue, but just in Planning Main Street Festival, there was a discussion of whether our participating businesses could use the common consumption area rules rather than the special event permit rules to serve alcohol. As part of the common consumption area ordinance, we have a process for a non-contiguous sales area. So it's a separate application, but it's a free application. If you're already an approved business participant, you can apply to have a sales area off your premises, and the city then approves the non-contiguous sales area, and you would be able to sell from that non-contiguous sales area, but only during the hours of operation. So the Main Street Festival has hours of operation outside of the operation of the common consumption area. So they're not able to use, it's just a much simpler process to just apply through us, and they don't have to go through quite as many hoops to have approval to sell alcohol at an event like that. And I detail some of the differences in the paragraph. Also, Main Street Dodge City is planning to put together promotional materials to educate the public on proper use of the common consumption area as we enter the summer season. So we're hoping that our law enforcement contacts remain at zero related to this. For financial considerations, businesses interested in becoming approved participants pay a $100 application fee to us, and they also pay another $100 fee to the state, but no application fee is required for any non-contiguous sales area. So any amendment to our hours of operation would require a new resolution, amending and replacing Resolution 2530. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions or hear any feedback you may have.
Questions, comments, or feedback for Paige?
I mean, I really don't have a big issue with it, but my suggestion is wait till we get through this first summer with it and see how it goes. You know, as far as extending hours, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could pick up another day somewhere during the week or Wednesday or something. I don't know what they're asking for as far as extended hours.
Yeah, they're asking basically for every day, having the same hours. Some other communities do that. And the argument is that it helps avoid confusion. So if we did do that, I think we'd have to redo our signage too. Our signage lists our days.
So are they still having to have their own cup, or if you go to one, you go to the other one, you can?
Yeah, so each participating business has to have an approved cup, and it cannot be glass, and it has to have their logo or name identified on it. And you can then take that cup out into the area, but it has to be in compliance with the rules of the ordinance.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Chuck. I mean, let's get through 1 year and see how it goes, and if you don't have any issues, then we could look at expanding it, every day or something like that, but.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 8 under new business is the approval to authorize the city manager to accept the real estate from KDOT, execute any documents required thereof, and issue payment. This report by Paige Gilmore, City Attorney.
Thank you, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. So the city entered into an agreement for the relocation of the Cowboy Silhouette along Highway 50 prior to the widening of that highway into 4 lanes. As part of the agreement, the state agreed to participate in the cost of relocating and removing the silhouette, which was necessary for the improvements in the amount of $150,000 at that time. City staff has been in communication with KDOT staff for many months regarding replacing the Cowboy Silhouette to welcome travelers to Dodge City on the west side of town. At the end of March, KDOT communicated with Ray Slattery, Director of Engineering, that the Bureau of Right-of-Way obtained the necessary approvals for the release of right-of-way, and KDOT is offering to deed the property to the city for a price of only $250 by way of quitclaim deed. Upon approval, city staff is prepared to develop an RFQ for design services for the relocation and replacement. And as part of that RFQ, city staff is hoping to request the design include a small parking lot and an access road to help visitors safely visit the Silhouette along the highway. So we are asking the commission to authorize the city manager to accept the property, execute any documents required, and issue payment in the amount of $250.
Where is this at? I mean, west of town?
Yes.
We're at west of town.
Vice Mayor and Commissioners. The location that we've been working with KDOT for several months on is east of the Point of Rocks, or the original location of the Cowboy Silhouette, by approximately 1/4 to 3/8 of a mile on the north side of the highway. KDOT ended up purchasing 2 full residential lots when they did the highway expansion and the access road for some of those residents along that were in that area. And so there is a portion of those lots that were not utilized for the highway expansion or the access road. And we started looking at those. They're up on a high spot. You can see, you have a great vantage point from the highway for that. So we started talking to KDOT, several months ago about acquiring those lots for the Cowboy Silhouette.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. One thing that'll make it a whole lot better and safer for anybody that wants to take their pictures is it is along the access road. And so we won't have individuals stopping on the highway now and kind of trespassing.
Climbing into private property.
Yep, across private property to go look at the Cowboy Silhouette or get their picture taken or anything like that. It'll all be ours. We'll, as Paige mentioned, the plan is to do a small parking lot and actually a pathway up to the Cowboy Silhouette, so.
Were those lit?
There were lights on them and there was.
Solar
They
lights
were
or
not at that time. That's something we can look at. There is power right there in the area, so we can have power. We're also looking for adding at least one light in the parking lot just for security measures and things like that too.
Sounds like a great project for Victory Electric to donate, doesn't it?
Additional comments or questions from the commission, or do we have a motion to move forward?
Vice Mayor Burns, I move to authorize the city manager to accept the real property from KDOT, execute any documents required therefore, and issue payment in the amount not to exceed $250.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We authorize the city manager to accept the real property from KDOT, execute any documents required therefore, and issue payment in an amount not to exceed $250. Final questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Any commissioners have any questions, comments in our other business section of the agenda? Seeing
I
none-
would just make one comment. I guess we had a Ford County Fire EMS guy had passed away. Kind of lift their family up in prayer to, I'm not sure what went on, but he's passed away, so we just want to keep in our prayers, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Melissa, any reports?
Yes, just a couple of quick things. The Western Kansas Congressional Delegation is in Washington DC right now for meetings, and that includes City Manager Nick Hernandez and Mayor Daniel Pogue, along with some other city staff and Dodge City Area Chamber of Commerce staff. They had meetings today, but also this evening they had their reception that they have with the legislators, and former Senator Roberts was able to attend that event and today and celebrate his 90th birthday with our delegation from Western Kansas. And so appreciate him and want to wish him a happy birthday. Also, just a couple quick reminders, as we had with the proclamation for Arbor Day with the tree plantings later this week. Those are also available on the city's social media page, as well as the Chad Open House and Hamburger Feed that's coming up on the 30th. So that's all I have.
Nicole?
I have nothing.
Paige?
Nothing from me.
Any other reports from staff? Connie? Very well. We had a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. We stand adjourned. Thank you.